Came up from scamming and swiping. Still from my neighbor on trifling. Finna go call me a raptor. Ride a little bit like a bison. Bitch in the bush, shorty look like she hiking. I'm taking a liking. Y'all take.
Hey you guys, what's Gucci? It's your boy SJK Dot, the first Black Super Saiyan to ever arrive on this planet. I'm back here with another video. I got this Spider-Man Homecoming discussion that I gotta do for you guys. I'm gonna go see the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. I'm gonna go ahead and rack out this discussion real quick before I get into that and go see this Broly movie. So let me go ahead and do this discussion for y'all. Hey, give your boy a set, give your boy a shit. Give your boy a shit. Check out them pics. Check out them pics. Check out them pics. Just what it is. But no, you guys, this is gonna be that Spider-Man Homecoming discussion. Won't be a rant. Won't be me hating on the film per se. Won't be none of that. It's just gonna be me talking about the film, like just me and G100 talking about the film. So we're gonna talk about this Spider-Man Homecoming. Just the pros and cons. I know it says issues, but it's mainly the pros and cons of what it was. Let me go ahead and sacrifice my pros and knock those out the way and talk about that shit, bro. Got y'all. The pros. Spider-Man Homecoming, I like that they, in a way, developed Spider-Man. I like that they took a development on him. Like that they took time with his character. But there's a problem with his character. Really, and this is the problem with Spider-Man Homecoming. The movie is a good movie in itself, right? Not the best Spider-Man story. But it's a good film in itself. But the problem is, I'd rather we rewatch Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 1, and Amazing Spider-Man 2 over Spider-Man Homecoming. And this goes into the cons of the film. Let me talk about this. First con of this film. The placement of this movie when it was made. This Spider-Man film should have been made before Civil War if they were going to bring if they had plans to bring Spider-Man in. Spider-Man was clearly dragged into Civil War to bring more people into the seats. Spider-Man had no place in Civil War. It made no sense for him to show up, and I'll talk about that in a sec. This film, Spider-Man is literally the mascot of Marvel. He's not the mascot of the MCU, but he's deserving of a solo film all on his own, where he builds himself on his own. Doesn't need a major actor like a major character like Iron Man, Nick Fury, Cap to help him carry his movie. Spider-Man is a character that can carry himself. That's why Spider-Man always had his independence. He always went solo until he started teaming up with the Fantastic Four. Got his things like a big time suit. Teamed up with the Avengers for a time. Teamed up with other groups. But Spider-Man at the start of his career, gained his own villains by himself, defeated them by himself, and defeated them with his ingenuity. And this is the problem I have. Civil War. You don't release Spider-Man in a feature film like that. Spider-Man is not a feature film character. Spider-Man is a character that is deserving of a film. Spider-Man is the one that is probably one of the top 3 biggest characters at Marvel. Overall. The top 3 biggest. Spider-Man is up there. This dude's damn near the mascot. So for Spider-Man to get a film at that time, this is how I would have liked this movie to play out. This is within Spider-Man's the first 6 months of his career, right? You show glimpses of what happened to Uncle Ben, right? He's going through his thing, doing his old Spider-Man thing, boom, 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 boom. He's dealing with that stuff, right? We don't need to linger on the Uncle Ben stuff. You show it, you be done with it, and you continue with the film. In this film, there should be no Tony Stark, no other big major hero, nobody else. Reference them. But at the end of the movie, then you lead into Civil War. This is if. Then you lead into Civil War. Because then Tony Stark can show up at the end of the movie and hire the kid. But in this movie, Spider-Man gains a villain on his own. This villain is not a villain that is anyway relating to the Avengers. Because, come on now. Spider-Man got a villain just because the Avengers. If it wasn't for the Chitauri battle in Avengers 1, Vulture wouldn't be a thing. That's all due to the Avengers and Thanos. Like, come on now. You couldn't at least get a freaking villain out of some freaking Oscorp tower or whatever. Some Oscorp lab. Like, come on now. Something. Give me something. Another con with the film. Spider-Man's introduction to the MCU, which made no sense at all, and I thought it was dumb. Spider-Man's introduction to the MCU is one of my big issues here. Tony Stark is the worst mentor ever. He's the worst mentor ever. He did nothing hands-on with Peter in his movie. And this is my issue with Tony Stark. We know Tony Stark is paranoid. He got PTSD. This dude got issues. He's whack to me. Because he's a terrible mentor. Why would you bring a kid onto your team and you're not going to mentor him? This is why Tony Stark, when he's talking about he wants a kid, dude don't need a kid. Kill him in Avengers Endgame. He doesn't need a kid. Because he can't even help mentor a young man like Peter. All he did in this movie was yell at him, mislead him. Tony Stark legit misled this man. I'm gonna tell y'all what's up. Tony Stark was just talking to him over the phone, telling him this, telling him that, like, hey kid, you gotta chill. Okay, cool. You keep on talking to him. Can you teach him? Why do you keep on talking? Teach. That's the problem with Tony. He wasn't teaching. He wasn't going on hands on to go do some stuff. He wasn't going around with Spider-Man to go patrolling or something. Like, hey kid, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Hey kid, you gotta watch that. You gotta make sure you're doing this. Hey kid, you should take this device. It'll help you with your patrols. Hey kid, make sure you do this, and that. He was on the phone talking to him throughout the whole movie. And then when he finally shows up, he scolds the kid. When Peter was trying to be a better hero. Now Peter, he messed up. But at the end of the day, Tony wasn't even being a good mentor. He's a terrible mentor, in fact. This is how terrible Tony is. Tony hired a little boy at the time when his team was in a state of turmoil and wrecked. His team was split into two. Team Iron Man versus Team Cap. Why would you hire any new heroes to come help out with this? This is an internal thing with the team. This isn't you bring in all these outside forces, especially a little boy. You brought in a little kid when you got Vision on your team. In no way is Spider-Man a better asset than Vision. Vision can phase through walls, phase through beings' bodies. Easy is the strongest member there. Picked up Thor's hammer. Vision could have easily one-shotted Giant Man in the face. He could have easily snatched up Cap's shield from him and pinned him down. He could have easily used the Mind Stone and cut off Falcon's wings. He could have easily took him down. Then he would have had to deal with Scarlet Witch. That fight would have been easy. Vision and Scarlet Witch are the strongest members there. This dude Tony hired a little boy on his team to help him out. So you got Vision here and you need Spider-Man for what? And when he had him there, he had him doing stuff like, oh, go web him up, kid. Are you for real? Are you for real? You gonna tell him to go web them up? Stick to the plan. What? He's clearly here to bring money for Civil War. Best leave. Spider-Man and his Black Panther and Ant-Man brought more people into them seats, bro. I'm telling y'all. Another issue with Spider-Man Homecoming. Now I get Spider-Man has... No, let me get back to Tony being a mentor. Tony is a crappy mentor. He went there, showed up in the movie. Tony sent the FBI to go deal with a guy who had alien tech. When Tony should have been there, hands-on, to deal with this situation. Tony sent the FBI to deal with a guy who got alien tech. For one, he wasn't even listening to Peter, who was telling him this, telling him that, and he's not even paying attention to him. How are you going? This is why this is the problem. Do not be a mentor, and you're going to not teach the child you're trying to educate. Do not be a mentor. Do not be a parent. If you're not ready to even... Tony chose to take this kid on as a student. So you're going to hire this kid. He's going to ask you for help. And you're going to give him this speech in his home. Talking about this, talking about that. And you're going to scold him and talk to him over the phone and not even come and join him. Take him on a mission or something. Take him to your lab and go build something. Are you serious, Tony Stark? Trash, bro. They should have kept him out that movie. Should have kept him out that movie. I dislike that. Keep him out the movie. Don't bring him in this movie. But they did it. And he had no place there. He was just there because he's Tony Stark. He's Robert Downey Jr. He did nothing mentoring of any kind. He freaking scolded that kid when he was trying his best. He was trying. Because Tony wasn't listening. Tony and Happy wasn't listening to him. Come on now. How y'all gonna be mentors? You not even listening to not even want to hearing out your student. He's a kid. He's gonna be curious. Tony Yu was the same way. That's why the PTSD and paranoia. Tony's a jackass. Another issue is Spider-Man Homecoming. The fact that Spider-Man took so many L's in one film. Spider-Man got sidelined by Tony. Vulture kicked his ass 3 times in one film. Didn't even get the girl. What else? His identity was exposed 2 times in one film. And they were all his fault. Let's be real. He climbed into his room. This is my issue with Aunt May. Aunt May let his friend, not some random kid, but his friend, sit in his room until Peter gets home. We don't know how many hours he been there, right? So we don't know. We don't know what. Look, you can't trust anybody, right? So she let Ned sit in her son's room, right? Or in her nephew's room. When Ned could have easily stolen something. Ned could have done something to something in Peter's room. Let's be real. Would your mom, would anybody's mom let their friend sit in their room until say, oh, Timmy will be back in 5 hours. You want to sit here? Oh, he'll be back in 2 hours. You want to sit here in his room and wait? Yes, ma'am. I'll wait for him. Go into his room. Turn on that PlayStation and shit. Come on now. Come on. I don't know what neighborhood. I don't know what parents do that, but don't do that shit. That ain't cool. That ain't cool. Don't let your kids, unless Ned was in danger and some dude was trying to chase after him and kill him, and he ran to Aunt May's house. That's a different story. But she just let him in the house. I get that to finish a project, but come on now. You don't let you don't let your friends, you don't let your kid's friend sit in his room until the kid's not even home yet. What? That's like me going to work and I get off at 8 and I get home and my mom had my friend sitting in my room the whole time and I get here and I'm expecting to go to sleep and then this dude's like, yo man, we gotta finish that project. Yo, what are you doing here in my room? Go home. You could have called me. What are you doing here? The freak. And then at the end of his film, this is why this Spider-Man is, I hate this Spider-Man. He is so careless. He walked into his room, right? He walked into his room at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming. He took off his mask and he had the door wide open. He had the door wide open and didn't even close it. What kind of dumb shit is... Are they serious? Are they serious? Look, the MCU is supposed to be for kids and adults. Don't make me feel dumb and don't make the kids feel dumb. Well, the kids would have took it. Don't make the kids feel dumb. That was stupid. He's gonna go into his room, take off his mask, and not even climb up on the wall, walk to the door, close it, lock it, get down, and then take off his mask. Come on now. But yes, Spider-Man was taking too many L's. At least what I wanted to see in Homecoming, at least let him win at least one fight with Vulture. At least one. And let that be the end fight. He lost all 3 fights. All 3 fights. He lost a fight on the ferry. He lost the first fight where Vulture came out the cuts and grabbed him and dropped him in the water. And he lost the 3rd fight where he didn't even defeat him. What defeated Vulture was that Vulture blew himself up. Vulture, yes, Spider-Man redirected the ship. That's the only win he took. He kept Vulture from getting so much of the tech. But still, Vulture wrecked this dude. Vulture had him by his claws and slammed him down and said, "Don't follow me, kid." And then when Peter saw the bomb, he was like, No, don't go. He stopped him and saved him. That's it. He still got beat up and whooped on. He didn't get the girl in the film. At least give him one W. The only W he got was saving Tony Stark's stuff, while Tony Stark was being a dick to him early in the movie. How is that? And I don't know how people didn't catch on to this, but y'all realize how much of a messed up person Tony was to Peter in that movie and how he treated him like dirt, like he was nothing. It's not that he treated him like he was nothing. He wasn't mentoring him. How is Tony willingly going to take on a student and not teach him? That's like someone saying, "Yo, let me be your teacher." And then for 3 weeks, you chilling at your place, and the student's calling you like, "Hey man, are you gonna teach me how to do this? Do these martial arts?" "Yeah man, I got you. Just just wait. I got some stuff to do." And you stringing this kid along, and you not even updating him. That's the problem with Tony in this film. Do not be a mentor, and if you're not going to teach nobody nothing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do that. I'd be damned if a teacher told me that he wants to willingly tutor me, and I'm like, okay, and then the teacher says, "Oh, I can't do it today. I want to do it tomorrow." Then I go the next day, and he goes like, "Oh, I can't do it today. Can we do it tomorrow?" And I'm like, okay. Then it repeats itself. That's what Tony was doing, leading him along, just talking to him over the phone. That's not mentoring. That is not mentoring. That is in no way mentoring. That's you talking to him over the phone, giving him some advice, and that's it. Anybody can do what Tony was doing. Aunt May could have done that. Freaking Happy could have done that. But Happy was ignoring him. Tony was ignoring him, and then everybody's gonna get mad at him like he did something wrong. At least he tried to go to that ferry and directly like a hero, unlike Tony, who sent the FBI to go deal with a guy with alien tech. Tony got mad at Peter for being a hero, even though the situation got out of hand. Doesn't mean it was entirely his fault. He was trying. He stayed there and tried to pull the ferry back together. But Tony, so it's gonna sit there, yell at him and scold him. And this is the other problem with Tom in his Spider-Man. When has Spider-Man ever depended on a suit? Ever. This is the first time I see this. It's like, I need the suit. That's not Spider-Man. That is not Spider-Man. Spider-Man isn't dependent on a suit. The freak. Spider-Man in the comics went into battle with ripped up clothes. He wasn't worried about his suit. He was worried about his mask getting tore off. But his suit? Man, he went into battle with a tore up suit. And you're telling me in this movie, now this Spider-Man, all of a sudden, this new Spider-Man, this MCU Spider-Man, is worried about a piece of clothing? Trash. Don't do that. Don't give me that. That is I don't know what comic they got that from. I don't know what video game or what animation of Spider-Man they got that from. I think that's new from the MCU. The MCU had a chance to do a fully accurate, a majority, 90% accurate Spider-Man, and they can't even do that. Till this day, Tobey is still my favorite Spider-Man. That should be changed. The MCU could have changed that, but y'all didn't. I don't want to be saying Tobey's the best Spider-Man. I wanted to say the Marvel MCU Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man. But y'all got me saying that. You got me saying Tobey's still the best Spidey. I don't like that. I don't like this. My other issue with Tom. Spider-Man. Don't tell me this is unrealistic, because we're talking about a world where a person was bit by a radioactive spider and he can jump. He can jump great distances and he can climb up walls. Do not tell me this is unrealistic, because if that's the case, everything in this movie is unrealistic, down to the whole freaking character. Spider-Man made the ugliest suit I've ever seen in my life. He had some pajamas and some sweatpants put together and said, "I'm Spider-Man." Weren't even tights. Weren't even a form-fitting suit. Like, come on now. All it takes is a Google search and a YouTube video for you to learn how to stitch up some stuff and do that. It's going to take you time, but that's the thing about being Spider-Man. He built his own stuff. He got his stuff together. I'm not saying he needs to build the whole thing from scratch, but he can order the necessary parts needed and stitch over it and do what he has to do. Knit whatever things he has to do. Stitch in the eye sockets and stuff. Do what he got to do. But it ain't unrealistic for a kid to want to know how to stitch or knit. Because I knew how to knit in middle school. I haven't knitted in a while, but I know how to knit. I know how to stitch up something. And I learned all this in middle school. What's his excuse? The other issue is his friends. This Flash Thompson. Spider-Man is being bullied by a kid that's the same size as him. He's being bullied by a kid. No, he's smaller than him. He's being bullied by a Flash Thompson that is smaller than him. Why couldn't you just make a Flash Thompson that just plays football and he's a jock? Why can't y'all do that? What's wrong with the MCU, bro? What's wrong with the MCU Spider-Man? Like, real talk. What is this? Why are they going so far from the comic to try? Shouts out to Jody's Corner for bringing this up. They made this man seem like Miles Morales. He has the little sidekick friend like Genki in the Miles Morales comic, and he also is especially in Far From Home. Nick Fury's coming to aid him, giving him a new suit and stuff, and saying, "Hey, I wanna mentor you. I want you to do this. I want you to do that." What? Are they trying? Do not mix Miles Morales with Peter Parker. You make Peter Parker, Peter Parker. That's why Tobey is still the best Spider-Man. He did everything solo. But his Tobey Spider-Man has the benefit of being in the universe by himself. But even Spider-Man in the comics is in a universe full of so many heroes and never gets overshadowed. He never gets overshadowed. He's always the main attraction. Spider-Man. Spider-Man in the comics is in a universe with tons of other heroes in the same city. And no, he doesn't get overshadowed. No, it's not Tony Stark coming to say, yo kid, let me mentor you. Nah, Spider-Man said if he got it, he got it. He can do it. But he's not going to say, I don't need your help. He's not that kind of character. He'll accept help. But he's not willingly always actively looking for it, because Spider-Man is always worried about the people around him. And Spider-Man would rather go into battle alone without trying to endanger so many of his friends, because he has so many friends that are willing to help, but he doesn't want to endanger them. Shouts out to Spider-Man. But he doesn't want to. Spider-Man in a way wants to carry the weight of the world on the back, carry the weight of the world on his back on his own, and that's why I admired. But Spider-Man, that's just how he rolls. That's why people are always getting on him, because they're trying to help him, and he's not necessarily taking help, or he's not meeting everybody's requirement. They got that accurate about Tom Holland. Tom Holland Spider-Man was able to get back and forth to everybody because he was trying to do so much stuff. They got that. That's the only thing they probably got accurate. And the fact that he made his own web shooters, cool. The goggles shit, that's something new. Goggles, cool. He made some goggles, good for him. Is there anything else I can say about him? I mean, that's really all I can say. He's cool, but like at the end of the day, and shouts out to the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. How is that trailer better than both the Captain Marvel trailers, you guys? The Spider-Man Far From Home trailer is better than both Captain Marvel trailers. That's a shame. That's a shame. That means Captain Marvel trash. Nobody don't want that beach. The only people that want her is some SJWs and feminists. But look, in that Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, there was an issue I had. Shouts out to Doe D for bringing this up. So, why didn't Spider-Man's spider sense go off when that tranquilizer was shot in that room and it hit Ned? Spider-Man should have picked up on a imminent threat incoming. Now, I'm not saying Spider-Man should have stopped Ned from getting shot at and tranquilized. No. I'm just saying Spider-Man should have been caught that and looked at Ned, and as soon as he looked back, he saw Ned fall down. Like, imagine if that was a real bullet and Ned got shot. Imagine if that was a real bullet and Ned actually got shot, and the spider sense didn't go off. Now that would have been a major issue. If he didn't even wasn't even alerted to it, and the only thing he got was just his friend falling, and that's how he was alerted to the fact. Because when Ned fell in that room, that's how Spider-Man was alerted that something went wrong. Because Ned fell to the ground and stopped talking, because he was talking midway and stopped mid a sentence. But the fact is, his spider sense didn't go off in that room, because that tranquilizer is a threat. A tranquilizer is a firearm weapon that's a threat. It's there to it's there to neutralize. It's not there to, you want to go to sleep? Yeah, Doc, I can't go to sleep. Okay. No, it's to neutralize. That's a threat. It's a weapon that's a threat. They're there to neutralize you. Spider-Man should have picked up on that, or even not even hear the gunfire, but pick up on the vibrate. I think the spider sense work like vibrations and the frequencies of vibrations in the setting of the area that's within Spider-Man's proximity. But he should have sensed that something went wrong, and that would have been a perfect moment for him to look back. And then he sees Ned fall. Not him getting alerted to the fact that Ned stopped talking, but he gets alerted by spider sense that oh shoot, Ned, watch out, and then Ned falls. He goes like, what the freak? Ned, watch out! And then he falls. And then he sees Nick Fury. And then boom. Look, you guys, I'm in this video there. Your boy got to go see Dragon Ball Super Broly, the movie. Shouts out to my tickets I got. Yo, shouts out to the boy with the tickets. I'm about to go see Dragon Ball Super Broly. This video is going to be uploaded before the Dragon Ball Super Broly review. Your boy got to go. That's your kid. I'll go straight to peace, love, and positivity. Deuces.